Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be playing with the new Fenty drops. We have their Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint here, and we also have their Bright Fix Brightener. This is like an eye brightener slash concealer, so I'm really excited to play with these products. I'm a little bit weary though because people are saying that this skin tint is more mattifying and not really for dry skin, and we all know that I have dry skin. And this eye brightener, a lot of people are kind of saying the same thing, that it's really dry under the eyes, and I do have dry under eyes, but we will see how this goes. If you want to know my thoughts, make sure you keep on watching. Please consider subscribing too if you haven't already. It helps me out a lot. And hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload. I do upload every week. And make sure you check out my social media if you want to. Check out my Instagram and my TikTok. They are here on the page as well as down below in the description bar. Let's get right into this video, guys. So let's go ahead and get into these claims. For the foundation, it retails for $29.50. It has 858 reviews, 4 stars. It is a lightweight, buildable, light to medium coverage skin tint that leaves skin looking blurred and smooth in flexible shades for all. The coverage is light. The finish is natural. It is a liquid formulation. It is free of parabens and phthalates, and it's also vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. I really want to start getting into skin tints, but honestly, none of them make shades light enough for me. This is pretty much the only one that I found that hopefully had a shade light enough for me. So I have the shade number 1, which is their lightest shade. This is the component that it comes in. I know it might be hard to see with my lights, but it's a really cool packaging actually. I've never seen anything like it. This feels nice. It is a plastic packaging, and it does have a twist off lid here and a squeezy tube. Here is the color right off the bat. Feels really nice on the skin, and it looks like it blends out pretty well. Here's a better look at the color. I did turn down my lights a little bit so you could see. I am also going to use a foundation brush for this skin tint just because they do have a lighter sheer coverage, so a brush is just going to make it so that it doesn't absorb any of the product like a sponge would. You guys know I don't even like using foundation brushes, but we're gonna try it for this video. I did pick up the Rare Beauty brush here. This is their liquid touch brush. She feels pretty dense but soft. Here is what the brush looks like. It is more of an angled foundation brush. So we're gonna go ahead and shake this up and apply this to the face. I am concerned though, because a lot of people say that it does settle into their fine lines. They do find it to be really drying. I do have quite a glow to my skin. I just did my skincare and I did add a glowy primer. Usually I let my skincare sit for a little bit before I would go ahead and film, but today I just straight away applied my skincare and we're just gonna go straight into the video. So from my understanding with this foundation, according to their website, because it is a light coverage, one shade could match a variety of skin tones. So I believe for this color 01, it matches people who use their other foundations in shades 100, 110, 120, and I think even 130. And this does come in 25 shades. Their shade range looks pretty good, not gonna lie. But we're gonna go ahead and put this on. I'm just gonna squeeze it into my finger, and then I don't really know how much I would need, so I'm just gonna kind of dot it on. I really want to get into skin tints like I mentioned earlier because it is summer and I personally do not want to wear a whole heavy foundation in the summer. You know, I hate that feeling. So I've been trying to find stuff that's a little bit lighter. So hopefully this will do the trick. Let's see. So I'm gonna go in with the brush here and just kind of pounce that into the skin. Again, I don't know how much I need, so I'm starting off with a really light amount. So from what I understand, this is supposed to be blurring, which for me personally, I am all about blurring and smoothing makeup. Like, I don't know, just something about makeup that makes your skin look like it has a filter. I don't know, just something about it a lot of people seem to like. But so far it's blending out really nice. I definitely barely went in with any, so I am gonna go in with another layer just because I really use the smallest amount possible. But I do like the kind of finish of this. I feel like with the glowy primer and glowy skincare that I use, my skin still does look pretty glowy, which is nice. But we're gonna go ahead and add some more. see if we can build up the coverage a little bit. I don't mind the squeezy tube, to be honest. I kind of like foundations that are like that just because you get more control out of the foundation and how much you want to apply. I think the color will work for me, thankfully. I like this brush too. It feels really nice on the skin. You guys know I'm not really a brush person because even with this brush, I am getting streaks on the face. So for me, that is a deal breaker for me when it comes to foundation brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take just a dry sponge and just pounce this into the skin to kind of get rid of any streakiness that we may have from the brush. But overall, I think it looks really nice on the skin. It looks very natural. Of course, you can still see my imperfections, but that's the point of a skin tint. Usually, you're not going to get a full coverage. All right, so I'm up close here. I did turn down my lights a little bit, but you guys can see it looks pretty nice on the skin. I wouldn't say it's clinging to any dryness as of this moment. I definitely could apply more down here, but I am going to try the eye brightener for the concealer. But I think it looks pretty good. I'm not mad at it at all. Maybe it's a little bit drying on my nose here. I do, with a lot of foundations, I tend to get like some dryness on my nose right in this area. But that's kind of common for me. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good on the skin. I feel like it just kind of acts like a second skin. And I do still have that glow, which I really, really like. Okay, so we have the skin tint on. And now we're going to go in with the Eye Bright concealer. So this retails for $25. And there are 16 shades in this, which is quite a nice range, I would say. It has 176 reviews, 4 stars, and it says it is an under eye brightener that hydrates, brightens, and conceals with sheer to buildable coverage, delivering a no makeup effect and long wear formula. Coverage is light, finish is natural, formulation is liquid, and it is free of parabens and phthalates. It is also vegan, cruelty free, and gluten free, which is nice. I do like that. Pretty much all of Fenty's products are like that. So packaging is standard Fenty packaging, same with the skin tint. I did get the shade Rose Quartz 01. So this is the lightest shade. It's also pink, so I really am not sure how I'm going to feel about it. I felt that the next shade up, I think it was like Warm Ivory or something. It was like a golden color, and I just felt like maybe it would be too yellow for me. So here is the packaging. It's really cute. I love the color of this. It's just like a nude color. And when you take the lid off, you do get, it's a squeezy tube, of course, but you can almost squeeze it out and go in and apply it like that if you wanted to. So here's the color here. It's definitely in person very, very pink, and blending it out, honestly, it feels kind of the same as the skin tint when I'm going in and spreading it out, but it definitely has a smoothing effect to it. It almost feels powdery on my hand. I did also pick up the Rare Beauty concealer brush to try this out because, again, the sponge does soak up a lot of product, so I would like to see how this does with a brush. But we're gonna go in and apply this, and I'm just gonna, that might be too much. You do get a lot out of this applicator. So I'm just going to start with that much and go in with the little brush here and see what we can do. This might be a better product to apply first before the skin tint, now that I'm thinking about it. So far, it's blending really seamlessly, really nice. I'm gonna put a little bit on my eyelids as well. I would say it definitely brightened for sure. You can still see a little bit of darkness under my eyes, but this looks, I look more awake, if that makes sense. Like, it does look pretty good under the eyes. It does look a little bit drying though, I will say. Like, it doesn't really look that hydrating. I think these are supposed to be more of like a color corrector versus an actual concealer. I've been seeing people using these as regular concealers, but personally, I don't think that I would use this as a regular concealer just because the shade is very pink, and all of their shades kind of have like either a pink undertone, there's some yellower ones, there's very peachy ones, but I felt like this one was the best one for my skin tone. But overall, I do think it looks drying under my eyes. Let me turn down my light so you can see. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it just like over here by the corner of my eye, it just looks a little heavy. It looks a little drying. It doesn't feel like anything. I can't feel it under my eyes or anything, but personally I just feel like right in this area it just looks a little bit dry. I'm not really caring for how it looks. I think the same over here. It just looks kind of drying. What do you guys think? Otherwise, I do think my under eyes look okay. Like, I'm not saying it looks that terrible, but I prefer more concealers that are more hydrating, more of a natural or like a radiant finish. So feeling this, the skin tint is transferring, so it's definitely something that I'll probably have to powder down. Looking at the actual face though, I still think my face looks really good with the skin tint over top of it. And I do even have like texture on my forehead here. You know, everybody has texture. I know that it looks like influencers have the most perfect skin on social media and on their YouTube channels, but I promise you, everybody has texture. It is normal. Does it piss us off? Yes, it does. We do not want texture on our face, but unfortunately, it's just a part of how our skin is. And I do have texture up on my forehead, and I don't feel it's emphasizing the texture, which is nice. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup off camera, and we will be right back to talk more about the skin tint and the eye brightener. Alright, so I went ahead and did some of my face makeup off camera. I just added some brows, I added a very tiny bit of mascara, some blush, cream bronzer, and some highlighter. I also went in with a setting spray as well. But so far, the face is not looking too bad. The under eyes are definitely creasing, even though I did set them with powder. And I used a powder that doesn't necessarily mattify. It kind of keeps like the glow that you have. It's the powder from Kosas, their Cloud Set baking powder. I am trying that out. But I definitely have creasing under my eyes, and my under eyes look pretty dry. So far I'm not really into the under eye bright fix. I would rather just use a concealer, honestly, with more coverage. But as for the rest of the face looks pretty decent. I do have dryness on my nose. I also do have a little bit of dryness right here as well. So in this area and definitely on my nose and under my eyes is where I see the most dryness. So far, I'm not mad at the skin tint. Maybe I just need to apply it differently, like with a sponge next time. But overall, I think my skin looks okay. I am worried that it will settle into my fine lines though, because that happens a lot. I have a lot of fine lines on my forehead, so foundations always settle into those lines. So I went ahead and turned down my light, and you can see my skin definitely looks glowier on camera than it does in person. In real life, it's definitely glowy, but I feel like it's more glowy on camera than what it really looks like. And even though I did set it with a powder, I tried to use a lot of powder just because it still feels tacky. Even though I set it with powder, I don't like that feeling whatsoever. But here's this side. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. Overall, I think the face skin is looking pretty good. And then here's the forehead. And then my chin. So I am going to try to do a wear test today. I will be wearing a mask, and honestly for me, I don't even wear makeup with masks because no matter what I do or how I set my makeup, the makeup always comes off my face. I don't know how these influencers do it out there. I wish I had their secrets, their tricks. But for me, it always comes off and you can tell, like, it looks terrible, the makeup underneath. But I will go ahead and wear test this. I do have an appointment. Actually, I have to leave here pretty soon, and I will be moving my face and stuff in my mask, so I do feel that there will be transfer with this. I did go ahead and set with the Smashbox Photo Finish setting spray, so hopefully there's not too much transfer or just like the makeup coming off underneath my mask. It is right now 1:30, so I will probably try to wear this until around 8 because I did start about 12:30-ish. So yeah, we'll try to wear this around 8, and I will get this video up today. So far it's good. I can't wait to see how it looks by the end of the day. I am just not going to wear any lip product for this video, but I will be back in a little bit to do a checkup. I'll probably try to do a checkup when I get home from my appointment, and then so probably about the 4-hour mark I'll try to do the check-in, and then try to do one in another 4 hours around 8 o'clock. Okay, you guys, so it's about 15 minutes after I finished filming, and I just wanted to show you what my face looks like in natural daylight. So my forehead, I'm pretty impressed. My forehead doesn't look too bad. My under eyes though, girl, look at those creases. My chin is still looking okay. I still have the dryness in the typical places that I said I had it, but yeah, I just wanted you guys to see what it looks like in natural daylight. So I will check back in around, I want to say like 4 p.m. for the 4-hour mark. Okay, so I am back. It is 4 o'clock, and this is actually the second check-in since filming this video. I do have my lights turned down so you can see. I was wearing a mask for about an hour and a half, and you can see the foundation has for sure rubbed off on my nose here, on my chin here, and on this part of my nose here as well. Other than that, it looks pretty good everywhere else. I am having some kind of like balling up on the skin here, if you guys can see that here on my chin and my nose. It looks really, really bad, but overall I think the rest of the face doesn't look that bad. I think that this probably could work for the summertime without a mask. I definitely would not wear a mask with this, at least from what the products that I used. It could be the primer that I used because I don't like to use mattifying primers, and if you do use primers that are more dewy, your foundation is more, it's going to slip more basically, and so that's probably what's happening because of my primer and the fact that I went in with a powder that is a little bit glowier, but we're gonna keep it going. I do have some sunglasses marks as well since I was wearing some sunglasses, and my mascara is transferring. It doesn't matter if I use a waterproof mascara, they always transfer on me. But yeah, the foundation, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think it looks good on my cheeks, but everywhere else, cheeks and forehead I should say, and everywhere else it's like balling up. So we'll see what the next check-in looks like. I think I'm gonna go back out, so I'll probably put on another mask, but as of right now I'm kind of on the fence. I think in the areas that it looks good, it looks really good, and then in the areas that it looks bad, it looks very bad. So I wouldn't say that this is mask friendly, but again, it could just be like the other products that I used with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, and then I will come back at 8 o'clock for the final check-in. Okay, you guys, so it is just a little bit past 6 o'clock, so 2 hours since I did my last check-in, and you can see definitely is rubbing off on the nose. Same with right here, and you could see that there are like little balls right here on my chin still. I definitely have deeper sunglasses marks because I just was wearing sunglasses and another mask. My forehead looks pretty good, but this makeup is breaking down really, really fast. So we are back for the final check-in. It is 8:20 here, and honestly, my skin looks a little worse. I did have a mask on again, so you can see my nose is still looking bad. You can see my sunglasses marks, of course. You can see the foundation is balling up down here on my chin, and I know for a fact it's not the primer I use because I use that primer all the time and never have problems with foundations. So this is not cute, I will tell you that. And here's the other side of my nose, again, busted, crusted. Same with kind of like in this area under my eye a little bit next to my nose. You can see it starting to separate. I think that my forehead looks really good, surprisingly, and I do have a lot of fine lines on my forehead, but this skin tint didn't sink into them. And I think overall, just like my cheeks look pretty good too. So I'm not sure what's going on with the skin tint. The under eyes, you can see I have creasing under my eyes. For sure. I definitely don't really care for the eye brightener. I just find it to be a little bit too drying under my eyes, so I probably would not use that again. The skin tint, I think I'm gonna have to try it just on its own without a mask. I feel like masks always ruin makeup, at least for me they do. I'm gonna have to try it without a mask and with some different products to kind of see if maybe it's a product that I used. I am really, really glowy though, so my oils are starting to peek through a little bit, and I think it looks, with the shine, I don't think it looks too bad, but it definitely separated on my nose and my chin for sure. And I do have my mask here, and honestly, there's very minimal transfer on my mask. So there's some right here, like a line here, and a line right here, and there's barely any in the nose area or the chin area. So I'm kind of surprised that it rubbed off this bad, but I'm gonna have to keep trying this off camera just to kind of get a real good feel of it. I don't know, right now I'm kind of turned off by the idea of the skin tint, but I think in the areas that it looks good, it looks really good. So I do think it would hold up for the summertime because it was really, really hot today. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, what you guys think, if you like the skin tint, if you want to buy it, if you don't like it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Same with the eye brightener. I don't know how I feel about it. I felt on application it was really hydrating, but as you blend it into the skin, it kind of gets dry on the skin. And personally, I would rather use a concealer that has, you know, a more dewy finish versus this. I don't know, I just feel like my under eyes have looked better with other concealers. And as for the shade, I think this skin tint shade matches pretty well. So if you are skin tone like me, 01 or just number 1, I think would match you. I didn't have too much trouble with products blending over top of the skin tint. However, I noticed when I did set it with the Kosas Cloud Set powder, it was still sticky. It was still a little tacky to the touch, and I don't like that feeling. I hate when foundations or skin tints or whatever, any product feels sticky on my skin. It just drives me crazy. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep using this. Like I said, the brushes, I don't really know how I feel about them. You guys know I'm not a brush person. I'll have to keep using these brushes to kind of see how I really feel, but I don't think it's necessary that you use a brush. I just wanted to use a brush for a little bit more coverage to see if I could get any. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, please consider subscribing. It would help me out greatly, and turn on your notification bell so you are notified every time I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!